From legendary monsters to creatures covered in battle scars. I'm Chris, and here are 9 of the largest crocodiles in the world. Number 9. The slender-snouted crocodile. I'll preface this number by saying that these entries won't all be about species, but also individual crocodiles that were caught, measured, and recorded, or at least properly guesstimated. But to start, I want to show you this African crocodile that's a bit of a problem with the locals. Coming in at just over 10 feet in length, the slender-snouted crocodile is a pretty big croc, especially since it weighs 405 pounds. Now, on one hand, the slender-snouted crocodile is usually known for eating small things like fish, amphibians, and other such creatures. But the tribes of Africa where it resides have noted that this croc isn't afraid to get dirty and will use any opportunity it finds to get its next meal, no matter how big or small it might be. It's actually attacked some of these African tribes, and they always keep an eye out for it. Number 8. Orinoco crocodile. Next, let's go to South America and introduce you to the largest predator on that continent, the Orinoco crocodile. That's right, a crocodile is the biggest predator in a place that has cats, snakes, and more. They're primarily found in the rivers of Colombia and Venezuela. Lengthwise, they get up to 13 feet, but some feel they can grow to even bigger lengths. Primarily, they feed on things like fish, birds, and other small creatures, yet they are known to attack humans at times, which is appropriate given that humans are known to hunt the species. Interesting fact, the females of the species actually bury their eggs and then wait for the cry of the little ones to bring them out of the ground, after which she'll watch over them in the water she takes them to. Number 7. MAXIMO. You're going to see some very interesting names for crocodiles on this list, so let's start this section off with one of the more on the nose. MAXIMO is a saltwater crocodile, which you'll see more of soon, that is currently in Australia via the St. Augustine Alligator Farm. Yes, there is a crocodile at an alligator farm. Zoos have irony too. As for its measurements, MAXIMO comes in at an impressive 15 feet 3 inches long. But just as impressive is one of its lower teeth. It's 4 inches long, which is a thing crocodiles aren't usually capable of having. So technically, MAXIMO has a reverse bucktooth. Previously, the zoo had a crocodile named Gomek that was about the same size as MAXIMO, but a lot heavier, and it died as a result. Because of this, the zoo actually regularly works out MAXIMO to ensure that he maintains a healthy weight. And before we get to number 6, if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe before you leave. We have lots of new videos coming up. Number 6, mugger crocodile. Here is a creature who lives up to its name, for the mugger crocodile is actually a species that prefers to ambush its prey on a number of different terrains. While all crocodiles are pretty much first strike killers, the mugger takes it to another level. They'll wait in certain areas and snatch its prey, then drag it down into the water, which isn't too different from other crocs. But it's also been documented as being known to hunt in forests. Yeah, it'll actually go onto trails and hunt for food there as well. So on land or in the water, the mugger crocodile is to be feared. And with its 10+ foot frame, it's got the length to literally go the distance. Number 5, GUSTAVE. I say the opposite is true. It's actually a killer, and not of animals. The apparent kill count for this croc. But there is some debate as to whether this is an actual truth or just its legend getting a bit out of hand. That being said, there is no doubt that GUSTAVE is a killer, which makes the fact that his whereabouts are unknown a bit unsettling. Yeah, that's right. Unlike many of the crocs on this list, there is no current known location for this croc. That being said, we do know a lot of information on GUSTAVE. For example, he was a Nile crocodile, and he was 6 meters long, which is just short of the record for largest croc ever measured. He would terrorize the Ruzizi River in Burundi, as well as a nearby lake, and because of his fame, many attempts were made to capture him, but none were successful. In fact, this led to a rather alarming realization that GUSTAVE was actually a very smart croc. Just as scary as the fact that GUSTAVE has survived many confrontations with armed humans, he has 3 bullet holes in him that can be seen quite easily, and it's said he has other scars on his body as well. The scariest thing of all might just be that he's been known to leave his kills uneaten, which means he's capable of comprehending the notion of killing for sport. Much of the world wonders where he is now, but many are just hoping he's not near them. Number 4. Gharial. For this entry, allow me to reveal to you a very rare species of crocodile. One that's not only large, but very unique in look. The gharial. The gharial is a species of croc that can only be found in India. But as you can see, it's one of the strangest crocodiles ever because it has a really thin jaw and mouth. This is in stark contrast to most crocodiles and even alligators, which thrive because of their large mouths that they use to bite down on prey in order to bring them down into waters where they live. But for the gharial, it's not like that at all. They use their very thin mouth, which has 110 teeth in it, to catch fish. So it's a trade-off, but one that works in its favor. Unfortunately, there aren't many gharial left in the world. At last tally, there's around 235 in the wild, but there's likely fewer than that now. They're critically endangered, and it's unknown if they'll be able to bounce back. In regards to their size, the gharial is known to be 17 feet on average. However, there have been unconfirmed reports that they can grow over 20 feet in length. Number 3. Dominator. You have to wonder what the person who named this crocodile was thinking when they decided to call it Dominator. Were they just speaking of its size? Or its weight? Or what it would do if it ever got one of the people who took a picture of it? Found on the Adelaide River, Dominator has been seen numerous times by numerous people. And though not technically measured, many suspect him to be around 20 feet long, which is massive. If you're wondering why a lot of people have seen this crocodile, it's because the Adelaide River is a tour boat destination, which is very weird as this river is a hotspot for crocodiles. But clearly some people don't mind the danger. Speaking of danger, you definitely don't want to test the limits of what a Dominator can do. This croc has been seen leaping out of the water so high that it could touch the canopy of one of the tour boats, which for the record is several feet high. Dominator is considered one of the king crocs, and there doesn't seem to be a worthy challenger to take that title off him. Number 2. Saltwater crocodile. In terms of species, there is only one top contender for crocodiles that are alive in the world today, and that would be the saltwater crocodile. These crocs are massive and have been known to get over 20 feet, though its average is about 17. Its weight can vary from 1,000 pounds to well over 2,000. As for where you would find such a croc, they're usually spotted in salty areas of India, Southeast Asia, as well as Northern Australia. But here's the catch. Despite their size, they're actually pretty good swimmers. And contrary to how other crocodiles act, they're not afraid to go out to sea in order to get food. Like most crocodiles, saltwater crocs are known for being very opportunistic predators, and as such, they'll lurk in areas waiting for food to come to them. But there have been reports of them going after humans, and even eating them. Given their size, it's a potential that shouldn't be ignored. Sadly, people don't ignore them when it comes to profit. The hide of the saltwater crocodile is extremely valuable, and though they aren't endangered, they are illegally hunted. Still, I don't pity the hunter who underestimates what these crocs can do. Number 1. LOLONG. It's appropriate to end this list with the biggest crocodile ever caught and recorded, and that would go to the Philippines, where they somehow caught a massive saltwater croc that they eventually named LOLONG. LOLONG is not just the longest crocodile ever caught, but it's also the heaviest. In terms of length, LOLONG comes in just over 20 feet, which makes it a true behemoth. And when you add its weight, which is 2,370 pounds, you can truly say this is one monster of a crocodile. The one thing more shocking than LOLONG's size is how he was brought into captivity. You see, there was a joint operation that went down in 2011 with the goal of capturing this crocodile. The hunt actually went on for over 3 weeks and took people from the government, local villages, and actual crocodile hunters to take this in. At one point, they had to drag LOLONG onto land, and it took 100 people to do it. That's a lot of people to move one crocodile. But it didn't end there. Despite being restrained, LOLONG repeatedly broke free from its containment, and only after 3 attempts was the crocodile eventually truly captured. So you might be wondering, why were they after this crocodile? Well, it's because LOLONG was believed to have been the source of several human deaths in the area, including a fisherman and a little girl. However, upon examining its stomach, no human remains were found. Still, the capture of LOLONG was quite a feat, and one that will be remembered for quite some time, even if another crocodile is found to be bigger than it. Well, thanks for watching, guys! How impressive were these crocodiles? Now, which one was your favorite? Let us know in the comments. Then be sure to hit subscribe, and we'll see you next time on World List.